Juan Pujol Garcia was a Spanish double agent during World War II, acting as a spy for both the Axis and the Allies. Born in 1912 in Catalonia and Barcelona, Spain, Pujol had a variety of careers during his younger years, studying animal husbandry for a time and managing various businesses. In 1931, at the age of 19, Pujol completed 6 months of mandatory military service in a Spanish artillery unit. He did not enjoy his time in the military, stating that he lacked the essential qualities of loyalty, generosity, and honor. 5 years later, when the Spanish Civil War broke out between Republican and Nationalist forces in 1936, Pujol was managing a poultry farm north of Barcelona. During the course of the war, Pujol served with both Republican and Nationalist forces in limited capacities, but took pride in the fact that he never fired a single shot on either side. Pujol's experiences during the Spanish Civil War left him with an extreme dislike of both fascism and communism. This dislike extended to fascist Italy, Nazi Germany, and the Soviet Union. He was married around this time and had 1 child. In 1940, during the early stages of World War II, Pujol decided that he wanted to make a contribution for the good of humanity. Pujol offered his services to the British 3 different times, but was turned down repeatedly. He decided to become a German agent instead before reapproaching the British to offer his services as a double agent. Pujol created a fake identity as a Spanish government official with Nazi sympathies, with the ability to travel to London on government business. He created a fake diplomatic passport by fooling a printer he worked for the embassy in Lisbon, Portugal. German intelligence accepted his offer to work for them as an agent, and they trained him in secret writing, providing him with a bottle of invisible ink, a code book, and £600 for expenses. He was to move to London and establish a network of British agents there. Pujol moved to Lisbon instead of London, and using a tourist guide to England, books from the Lisbon Public Library, and newsreels he saw at cinemas, he wrote reports back to the Nazis that seemed to be coming from London. He even submitted traveling expenses based on fares listed in a British railway guide. Pujol created a whole network of fictitious agents that he claimed to have recruited across Britain. His reports were so credible that when the British intercepted some of them, they launched a counter-intelligence spy hunt for him through MI5. In 1942, after the United States entered the war, Pujol contacted an American naval officer in Lisbon who recognized Pujol's potential. The Americans contacted their British counterparts in support of Pujol. Pujol was relocated to Britain in April 1942 and was later provided the code name of Garbo. Pujol and a Spanish-speaking MI5 agent, Tomas Harris, maintained Pujol's fictitious spy network that he had created, writing over 300 letters to the Germans. Nazi intelligence made little effort to recruit additional spies in the United Kingdom during the war because of this. The information they delivered included real information of little military value, valuable information intentionally delayed, and bits of complete fiction. Pujol later began communicating with the Germans via radio. His code name within the German intelligence service became Arabelle, and the sophisticated encryptions they provided him were in turn supplied to British codebreakers. In early 1944, the Germans informed Pujol that they believed a large-scale invasion of Europe was approaching, and wanted him to discover information about its planning. He became an integral part of Operation Fortitude, a code name for the Allies' military deception strategy in the build-up to the Normandy landings. Pujol sent over 500 radio messages between January 1944 and D-Day in June to mislead the Germans about where the landing would be occurring. Pujol's transmissions were carefully delayed on D-Day so that the real information he sent arrived too late. 3 days after D-Day, Pujol sent a message to the Nazi High Command that reached Adolf Hitler. He provided the Allied order of battle, showing exaggerated numbers of soldiers still in England ready for an additional invasion. The deception was supported by inflatable tanks and bogus radio chatter. The deception paid off, and the German High Command trusted Pujol's reports. After the war, it was discovered that no less than 62 of Pujol's reports were included in German military high command intelligence summaries. The Germans had paid their agent, Arabelle, $340,000 to support his spy network. Adjusted for inflation, this comes out to over $4.5 million in 2015. At the height of his reports, Pujol's fictitious spy network totaled 27 individuals. In July 1944, the Germans awarded Pujol, as Arabelle, the Iron Cross for his services to the Nazi war effort. This award was one of great honor and required Hitler's personal authorization. He was presented the award via radio and later received the physical medal after the war had ended. As Garbo, Pujol received a member of the Order of the British Empire from King George VI in November 1944 for his service as a double agent. The Nazis never realized during the war what Pujol was really doing. Pujol, or Garbo, was one of the very few people to have received decorations from both the Axis and Allied powers during World War II. After the war, Pujol traveled to Angola and faked his death from malaria in order to avoid revenge attacks by surviving Nazis. He later divorced his first wife and married a second, having 2 sons and a daughter with her. He lived in Venezuela, running a bookstore and gift shop there. In 1971, a British military historian, Rupert Allison, became interested in Garbo and for over a decade attempted to discover the individual's real identity. Finally, a former MI5 agent revealed Pujol's name in 1984, and Allison and Pujol met in New Orleans later that year. With his identity finally revealed, Pujol was honored with an audience at Buckingham Palace and met with former colleagues. On June 6, 1984, the 40th anniversary of D-Day, Pujol traveled to Normandy to tour the beach and pay his respects. Juan Pujol Garcia died in Caracas, Venezuela in 1988, and is buried in a small town near the Caribbean Sea. In 2009, a Spanish documentary called Garbo the Spy was created about Pujol's role in World War II. Be sure to check the film out for a much more detailed account of Pujol's incredible story. You can watch a trailer for the film at garbothemovie.com. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for future videos. You can also like my Facebook page for updates there. Leave a comment below with any feedback, additional information you may like to share, or suggestions for future videos you would like to see. You can check out another video on when Japan bombed Oregon during World War II right here. Thanks for watching.